Time to sink our teeth into another delicious edition of EFL TV. Thanks to Ferntree, Gully, Holden and HSV, your local community dealer. Always great to be joined by the EFL's media manager on EFL TV, Benny Waterworth, and he's back bigger and badder than ever. Benny, g'day.
Hello, Half. Did you feel that earthquake on Tuesday night?
I did.
Saw you tweeting feverishly away there. I actually don't think it was any of the plates moving underneath the surface. I reckon it was a couple of Eastern Football League teams just coming back down to earth, realising that we've got a bit of a journey to get towards the 2012 final series.
There's no stopping our man. He's on fire very, very early in the piece. We are going to do the same as last week, do Divi 4 and 3 and have a break. Come back after we catch up with Phil Merton from the EFL as well and talk about Divi 2 and 1. Let's go to Divi 4. Kilsyth take on Sylvan. This is a danger game for Sylvan.
Yeah, big time it is. Sylvan are probably one of the hottest teams in Division 4, having said that. They've won their past 3 games and it's been on the back of kicking some big scores. They've kicked 15, 16 and 18 goals over their past 3 games. Ash Froud's had a fair bit to do with that, obviously, but the guys like the Tui boys and Rhett Newell have been in fantastic form for Sylvan. So this is a danger game, though, because Kilsyth won their second game for the season last weekend, get around the mighty Cougars. They knocked off the Ferntree Gully Eagles. A bit of a disappointing performance from the Eagles, but take nothing away from Kilsyth. Guys like Caleb Wrigley and Hamish Hosking, who have been playing a high division of footy over the past couple of years, have come in and done some great things with this really young Cougars side. So the Cats, I think they'll win out there at Kilsyth Recreation Reserve, but they cannot afford to underestimate Kilsyth because they'll be confident. They're a young side, they're an emotional side, but Cats should still get the 4 points.
Cats with the points there in Divi 4. In Divi 3, we've got Ringwood taking on Mitcham at Ringwood Jubilee Park. This is a must-win for the Redbacks, isn't it?
It was. It was a must-win game for Ringwood last weekend against Templestowe as well, but they only kicked 3 behinds in the first half. And unfortunately, they put a fantastic third quarter in, but you just can't give a side like Templestowe a start like that. So they'll be looking to bounce back. Guys like Trent Farmer and James Katsiawas up forward will be very, very important for them. Having said that, Mitcham, they've played the bottom 3 teams in Division 3 over the past 3 weeks, and you would expect to probably get a little bit of percentage out of those 3 games, but only 2 victories and a loss. Those 2 victories by 6 points and by 17 points, and a loss to Warrandyte as well. So a bit of an opportunity gone missing there for Mitcham. They could have got a bit of an extra percentage, so that might hurt them towards the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see. Look, I'm on the Ringwood bandwagon here. They went down to Templestowe last weekend, but their third quarter comeback was quite impressive. Mitcham, very hard to get a read on them, particularly over the past 3 weeks. So Ringwood for mine. I think their forward line will fire and they'll be able to put a little bit of pressure and start to push towards the top 5.
Okay, so a win for the mighty Redbacks at Jubilee Park against Mitcham. Ooh, your man G-Mac will not be happy about that.
No.
Don't go too far away. We're going to get to Phil Merton after this very shortly, but I'm going to chat to you about Divi 2 and Divi 1 coming up on EFL TV.
Ellis went up in the ruck and just ripped it out and snapped it around the body. This might have stuck through for a goal. What a ripping goal that is by Jack Ellis, just in the nick of time too.
We're joined now by the EFL's Footy Operations Manager, Phil Merton. G'day, Mertz.
G'day, Half. Good to see you, Mr. Popularity.
What are you saying about that?
10,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Jump on board at Half Serious if you like, or at Halftime SEN. I got 2. Hey, a bit of discussion, speaking of Twitter and social media and forums and that type of thing. I was reading on the EFL forum during the week about jumper clashes. There was a big concern about the East Ringwood South Croydon clash last weekend.
Yeah, no, there's been a bit of discussion around that following the weekend's game. And what happened there, East Ringwood made some suggestions to us that it was a jumper clash, but it wasn't one that we'd called in the past. And
right.
While these 2 teams at senior level had only met for the last couple of years, we see these jumper clashes more regularly in the juniors, so it gives us a bit of a handle on what they're like. And in the past, it's been okay. But the changing factor this time, which we weren't made aware of until once the games had started, was that East Ringwood have got a red sponsors logo on the back of their jumper now. So,
and a new sponsor, is it?
Yeah, so
right.
While the sponsors, well, that used to be the Maroondah Sports Club, a white logo, and the red on the back of South Croydon and the front of South Croydon, combined with the changing shorts, used to be enough of a differentiating factor. Adding that red logo means that both clubs have got blue jumpers with red sashes across the back and white numbers. So, there was some confusion, and we'll probably look to make a change the next time they play.
So what is the criteria for a jumper clash from the EFL's point of view? What has to happen for there to be an official clash?
Yeah, look, we just have a look at the start of each year, which teams are in which divisions. As I mentioned, the juniors cross each other a lot more than what the seniors do.
Yep.
We're having 4 grades, so we get a bit of a handle on where the likely jumper clashes are going to be. And there's some that we call, and we've got some jumpers that the clubs can borrow, or some clubs have alternate jumpers. And there's others that we think there's ways to be able to change things around with shorts combinations, etc. That can happen. So look, we discuss them with clubs and particularly with umpires. Yep. They're probably the two main factors. Then we also take into consideration what it's going to be like for the spectators as well. So
I've worn the alternate jumpers from the EFL. They're the workmen are like OH&S vests, orange up top with silver or grey down the bottom. They're atrocious. So are more clubs now investing in their own sort of alternate jumpers, clutch strips?
Yeah, a lot of clubs are getting alternate jumpers, and we've had a program through the EFL where we've helped fund that. And so we're getting fewer and fewer of them that pop up. But there are some that we call. There are some that we think there's other ways to manage it. I mean, Montrose and Waverley Blues is one that people have been discussing, but Waverley Blues have actually got a red back of their jumper, and so if they wear white shorts and Montrose wear blue shorts, generally it's not too bad. And those two teams played off in a Division 2 reserves grand final a couple of years ago, and I didn't hear anyone complaining, and we took particular notice of what it was like then and spoke to the umpires. So there's ways and means around various things, but there are certainly some clubs that we insist that they wear alternate jumpers when they play certain opposition.
Do clubs that don't have a clash but want to have an alternate strip for away games, do they have to get the all clear from you guys before they use it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So. And what about EFL players, just moving on, because that was a big topic on the forum this week. EFL players moving on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, look, it's been obviously with the debut of John Patton last week.
The General.
Comes out of St Simon's Junior Footy Club. That was a really proud moment for that club and for the people who've been involved in his development. He looks like he's going to be a player for the future. It's been, as the halfway mark of our season, the AFL season rolls on, it's been good to have a look at some of the guys that have moved on. So obviously Hayden Crozier has been doing some really good stuff over at Fremantle. And there's some guys who are 1 or 2 years into the system, like Kieran Harper, who are doing particularly well at North Melbourne. But I suppose where we've probably seen the next level is down at VFL level, where a number of guys moved on to the VFL from EFL ranks this year. And I think everyone, given the circumstances and what the opportunities that are out there for young guys these days. So Lee Osborne and Kyle Martin, who are both at Frankston, played in the VFL state team a few weeks ago, and both performed really well, and I think are coming under the eye of recruiters. And Lockie Delahunty, who went from Noble also down to Frankston's, doing really well. And Lin Jong, who went from Mulgrave, got recruited by the Western Bulldogs, has been in the best place for Williamstown a number of occasions. So there's a lot of guys who have moved up to the next level that are doing really well, and I think it shows that getting a good grounding in the AFL can be a stepping stone to bigger and better things, hopefully, and hopefully those guys maybe even get higher opportunities.
Seems to be a bit of a nursery of champions, the Eastern Footy League at the moment. That's why everyone's a part of it. It's a fantastic competition, nurturing great talent along the pathway. Mert, it's great to catch up, mate.
And just while we're talking about nurturing of great champions, remember this weekend we've got the under-14, under-15 interleague teams playing their grand finals out at Craigieburn on Saturday, so good luck to those boys.
And get along and support them if you can. Good luck to all those teams involved in the grand finals this weekend. Thanks, pal.
No worries, Harv.
Phil Merton from the EFL.
Looks pretty good off the boot, right towards the top of the goal square. Lumacheesy. Oh, look at the jukes from the cheese. Takes on quickly, kicks the goal.
Righto, let's finish this off with DB2 and DB1 analysis from the mighty Ben Waterworth, who's back with us. DB2, we've got Upper Ferntree Gully taking on Roval. What's happened to Roval the last couple of weeks?
They've lost their past 2 games, Harv. That's what's happened to them. They were sitting on top of the ladder undefeated a fortnight ago, but they've dropped their past 2 games to Moorabak and a surprise loss to Donvale last weekend. I actually think it's their poor kicking half. They've been kicking poorly all year, but they've kicked 9 goals, 13, so a low score over the past 2 weeks, and it's come back to bite them on the buttocks, half, which isn't what you want. So they need to try and kick better in front of goal this week. Looking at Upper Ferntree Gully, though, they're one of the sides who've probably helped the Earthquake get a bit of magnitude over the past on Tuesday night, because they've dropped their past 3 games themselves as well. They've got an elusive forward line. Matty Petrarca's kicked 26 goals, but it's their defence that is letting them down. They've conceded the second most amount of points in Division 2 this season, so they need to try and improve that.
Down a bit.
Roval, I think at Kings Park, the Kings will really take it up to the Hawks, but Roval is a professional club, both on and off the field. I don't think they'll drop 3 games in a row. They don't lose games, let alone lose 3 games in a row. So I think they'll bounce back on the weekend.
It depends whose buttock you're biting to as to how bad or good that can be.
And which cheek as well, of course.
Correct.
Yes.
Just be careful where you are biting if you are going to bite the cheek.
That's right.
Let's move to Divi 1. A big game, this one. This is a great competition, Divi 1 at the moment. It's so tight. There's a game between 4 points between 1st and 6th, I think.
Yep.
And 8 points between 1st and 10th. So it's a really tight competition. And East Ringwood will take on Vermont this week. Both teams are 5 and 3. 8-point game.
8-point game, to say the least. 4 versus 5 in Division 1. It's so big half that the EFL media team will be heading out to broadcast the game.
The caravan.
Yeah, the caravan will be heading out. They were actually out in the balcony, though. Beautiful place to watch footy up on the balcony there at East Ringwood Reserve. So looking forward to that one. Make sure you tune in. 98.1 Radio East, and of course live streaming on efl.org.au. 1 till 6 p.m. Text us as well, 0419 654 082. I'm sure the number will flash across the bottom of the screen there. So fantastic game. Look, I think for East Ringwood, one of the best things about them, they've won their past 4 games, but it's been quite an even team performance by them. Having said that, Anthony Van Ruin has been in fantastic form for the Roos. He'll probably be leading their best and fairest at this stage. We anointed Vermont at the start of the season half. We thought they're going to be the team. I anointed Vermont at the start of the season.
I did too.
They started solid, but they've just found their straps in the past couple of weeks. 4 out of their past 5 games they've won. So they're certainly in some good form. And it's been on the back of their better players like Mendez, Mullet, Ross, Millhouse. You know those players all from your Division 1 days.
What about big Jared Dalton going from full back to full forward, kicking bags?
I think he's kicked 16 goals for the year so far. So he's in some very good form as well. He's really added some potency up at full forward. And that's a big key because Matty Gregg's gone down with a season-ending injury as well. So important that Jared Dalton files. Look, this is going to be a fantastic game. East Ringwood in fantastic form, obviously, but I like Vermont since the start of the year, and I like them on the weekend as well. They're experienced players. You just can't go past them. I think they'll fire again. They've been so consistent, and expect them to bring their best form to East Ringwood Reserve on the weekend. Eagles
over the Roos in Divi 1. Remember, that is the 98.1 Radio Eastern game of the round. All the action from 1 o'clock through till 6, and you can check out the streaming, as Benny said, at efl.org.au. Great to see you, mate. Thanks for that.
No problems, Half. See you next week.
Look forward to your company next week, and look forward to yours as well. Stay tuned.